Hello and welcome back to my Read Aloud channel and to First Samuel chapter 1 that we are going to be finishing up with in this video. I left off with the reference C just after I started in this book and said that I'll try to just, for flow, read through the chapter without pausing at the references. But then there were some references, like 3 references, A, B, and C, in this chapter that I felt were important. And the reason for that one is it was interesting to me that it says in verse 23, do what seems best to you, her husband Elkanah told her. Stay here until you have weaned him. Only may the Lord make good his word. And the reference says, Masoretic text, Dead Sea Scrolls, Septuagint, and Syriac say your. They say your word. And I thought, it sounds to me like that's a good to keep in mind, because it didn't seem that the Lord gave his word to me, on this. She asked, and Eli answered, go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him. So it's just, it's interesting because, I think just in my experience and I'm sure some of yours, sometimes I think we want to be careful to, not put words in God's mouth. And there are certain promises that God's made, and there's some that he hasn't, and maybe they're just requests that we've had of him, right? We don't want to, we don't want to count on as though he said it. Okay. Let's go to verse 24. After he was weaned, she took the boy with her, young as he was, along with a 3-year-old bull. Okay, we don't have to go there. An ephah of flour and a skin of wine, and brought him to the house of the Lord at Shiloh. When the bull had been sacrificed, they brought the boy to Eli, and she said to him, pardon me, my lord, as surely as you live, I am the woman who stood here beside you praying to the Lord. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him, and now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord. And he worshiped the Lord there. Wow. So I think that's pretty incredible. Just some different things in there about, I made mention of, well, it was Hannah's request, obviously God, it was in his will and his word, his plan, that Samuel will be born, and so that's why it came about. And it is kind of cool, just like, hey, remember what we prayed for, here it is. And I'm dedicating fully to the Lord. And even Samuel, he was the one, I believe it's referring to Samuel worshiping the Lord there, so he was just dedicated right away by his mother. And and then he continued in what was his purpose from such a young age. So I want to keep going. I just don't want to get cut off because I know we only have a few minutes. So I will with that finish chapter 1 of First Samuel. I am feeling a little more behind because of losing the day yesterday, not being able to save the video, and just getting behind. But that's okay. We'll take our time and work through First Samuel. Today I did read through, I think it was chapter 4. Yeah, I read through chapter 4. So I'm